Hi, folks. Welcome to another weekly forecast from F45trading.com. Just going to run through a couple of pairs real quick for the week. And just a couple of Forex pairs US dollar, Euro USD, pound dollar, the US CAD I'm going to look at real briefly, and crude oil. I just want to take a look at real quickly. I will probably jump on a live session maybe tomorrow during New York, but probably not until London Open for Tuesday. But I'm going to discuss a couple other commodity ideas as well too that I've been looking at. So I'll keep you abreast of those when they come up. And we are looking right now at the week of Monday, July 23rd to Friday, July 27th. So on the charts, we had a lot of activity happen last week. You can see here the weekly profile started out with Monday and I'm talking last week here, kind of sitting sideways. Tuesday coming in, creating the low of the week, and then ripping higher into Wednesday, making a slight retracement, and then Thursday pushing up and taking out and running into new highs. High coming in here at, on this feed anyway, at 95.42. So that's the new weekly high. And then obviously Thursday, after that made that high during New York Open, prices retreated, and then into Friday, really sold off into Friday. Now, we just had price come in and take out a new low, so we had price finish off on Friday, right on this candle right here, and you can see coming into Sunday now at the time of this video, prices have sold off and gone weaker. So far, the bodies of the candles haven't necessarily wanted to come down and really take out this low yet. So what I think we may see happen, I got a couple of levels on the chart here. I think we're heading lower. I'm going to run out to the daily real quick to kind of show you my thoughts on this. You can see how prices in here have been manipulated, trending sideways so far, and I was kind of hoping we would see things run a lot higher than just this one wick right here that we put in on Friday. I kind of looked at this and said, well, price is starting to build up, and I think we're probably going to see prices break out to the upside. But it looks like if they didn't do this on Thursday and they would have closed higher than these highs in here, and then Friday would have even done like a mildly bullish candle, I would have been convinced that we were going to head to the upside. But after that big sell-off that we just saw right there, prices came all the way back down underneath these two down candles right here, creating a new low. Now, what it did do is it retouched off of, almost retouched off of, I should say, the high of that candle right there. But really, I think right now, the line in the sand, if price breaks, see this, I got this price tag right over here, this 93.93 level. If price breaks lower than 93.93, and this is on this particular broker feed here, you could use 93.90 just depending on what levels that's coming in. But anything lower than 93.90, I'm pretty much certain that we're going to finish off the week lower. And I think lower, right now, my initial target lower on the downside, if we get a break below here, is going to be 93.60. But we could be going much lower than that. We could be looking to take out this low here, and ultimately we could be taking out these equal lows here on the downside at 93.16. So just keep that in mind. Going into this week of trading, I'm actually predicting lower prices on the week, just because of this bearish activity on Friday and so far into Sunday here. Sunday's open now. We're starting to see this sell, but I think what we could see happen before we get down to these levels here. So remember, this is the line in the sand. I'm sorry, that's not the line in the sand. Line in the sand is over here, 93.93. So that's basically this guy right here, this big solid red line right there. What I think we could see happen is price may stab down there sometime in New York Open or London Open going into Monday. So pretty much any time now between now and New York Open on Monday. And we could see a pullback, and I'd like to see if they want to run price back up. One of two things, either this range right in here at 94.25, they could run price up to, and if they get any strength behind them They could even run above these highs here, and I have this 94.63 level pegged out on the chart as well too. That could be a target for the upside on the week, but I would expect the high to be hit Monday, Tuesday of this week, and then the sell-off to ensue from there. But I'd be very, very interested in them coming up and taking out the old highs in here and just retagging off of the small consolidation level in here before continuing lower. Now, if they get up higher than 94.63 in here, or 94.70 even, then we could be retesting the highs in here, in which case this trade idea is null and void. But I think this could be what we're looking at. And again, this retracement here, I am looking for a retracement. It could be down here to 94.25 or up here to 94.63. So we'll just kind of have to wait and see how that pans out. A little bit too early to tell, but I am looking for lower prices. And we just took out a major level here. But that line in the sand, like I say, 93 is what I'm looking for, to see if they have any willingness to get down below that. If they do, then these areas underneath these equal lows in here are going to be gone, and then we could be coming down and retesting the lows into this area under here at 93.60 and below. So that's sort of what my anticipation is for the week ahead for the US dollar. And then obviously we're going to see the exact opposite happen on the Euro USD. So this is the 4 hour, and I'll just drop down to, 4 hour, I meant the 1 hour chart. And we're seeing the same sort of thing. Price took out an interim low right here. It left these highs over here intact. You see these areas here? Tons of stops built up above those. So far, they've left those intact. Now, what I think they want to do is they just ran up and grabbed some stops above the market here. I think they're kind of back down and gathering up long positions and potentially taking out some of the guys who were coming in here and going long in here and jamming their stop up under these locations. Those are going to be the next targets that are going to get hit. So if we do see a bit of a sell-off here going into Monday and maybe even Tuesday, if price can get down past this level in here, I kind of got this little highlighted area in here. If price can get down past that, then I think there is a chance it could tag off of the 116.90 level. Basically 117 big figure, and then if it does go lower than that, the last area of support that I'd be looking for a price to bounce would be these highs in and around here. So that's sort of what I'm going to be looking for. And again, price to set this low Monday, Tuesday, rebound, hit a level of support. If it breaks through these areas in here, then I'm going to be looking for this level in here. And the last line sort of right down at, I'll give you the level on that. On my chart comes in at 116.80 to 116.70, somewhere in around there. And as we come down to it on Monday, Tuesday, then I'll adjust it if it does get down there. And then I'm looking for a bounce and a run higher. Now, long term, I am looking. Long term. Short term, I should say, towards the end of this week, I'm looking at the 118.90 to 119.10 as a potential high to get hit. So on the upside, we got a potential for a couple hundred pips available. I think if price runs down to 116.90, for example, we've got about 200 pips potential range available for the week. So that's what I'm going to be looking for, a move lower on Monday, Tuesday, finding some support, and then a run higher. Same type of idea on the pound dollar. I'll refine this a little bit going forward. I just actually wanted to do one real quick thing here and just bring up some news events for the week, just to make sure we're all squared away, so you guys know exactly what we're looking for on the week ahead. I'll just bring the chart over, or the news feed over real quick here. So lots of news on Euro, and this is why I think the Euro we could jam down and hit those lows on Tuesday for the Euro. And then a little bit more news on Wednesday. We got crude oil inventories, obviously, coming out Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. And then a lot of Euro news on Thursday. Some more core durable good news for the U.S. dollar. And then into Friday, we got some more U.S. dollar news. So not a whole lot of cable on this week. So that's kind of why I'm sort of thinking, I mean, just going forward, I think if we do see that run higher on Euro, it'll pull the cable with it. and we could be challenging these highs up in here. I have 132.55 on the chart. Those highs could be challenged on the week, and potentially even higher. I think maybe even we could see a range up into here get ran into, and that would come in at about 133.30, somewhere in around that area. That could be the high on the week, just depending if it gets a fairly big push. That's about 180 pips away from now. Should be a fairly easy target to hit on the cable, but I'm more so inclined to see the euro move this week. There's a lot of policy news events coming out this week, and I think that this is going to be the week that they're going to move it. It's last week, this week here. Last week they moved the pound dollar. Obviously, you can see here. This was last week. Had a big range that it put in. It was, I think, it was about a well, how many pips was it? 300 pip range on the week, and it gave up almost half of that coming in on Friday's news. So what I'd like to basically see, same type of idea as the euro. I'd like to see price run down to about the 130.90 level to 130.80, and then price to gather some support and potentially run, and we'll see that high hit. So again, same thing, Monday, Tuesday low. But my main focus, I think, on the week is going to be on the euro, just because of all the news events coming out. I think they're really going to be manipulating it, as I was saying. So my eyes are going to be on that mainly for this week. U.S. CAD, a little bit of news on Friday for U.S. CAD. So we could see some movement on that, on this pair on Friday. I'm not going to be doing a whole ton of trading on the Canadian dollar. I'm sorry, I said on Friday. Apologies, guys. I'm just double checking the news events. I actually don't see any Canadian dollar news events. I thought there was some on Friday. There's obviously crude oil inventory news on Wednesday, but you know, there's not a whole lot going on other than that. You can see price failed to get higher here, created a failure swing in here, ran down, came back up, failure swing, and then sold off. I'm looking for these lows down here to get tagged. That's the first target for the week, and that comes in at. So obviously this is just going to coincide with the U.S. dollar low, and 130.20 could be a potential target for them to want to run down to, and that'd be about 100 pips from here. Same type of idea though. I'm just going to drop down to an hourly. There's a big area in here where I think they could run price back up to. So if we get above this high right here, then I would expect them to probably run back up to these lows in here, and then find some resistance on the upside, and then sell off. And looking at them to run down to this level down here. So that's the U.S. CAD. And then finally, to wrap up here real quick, is crude oil. I'm just going to make this a short video. I don't want to drag this out. Crude oil, it's really consolidating in here. And I'll be honest with you, I was hoping it would have pushed out of this last week. We did see this big gap. So at the end of the day, what's going to happen? This gap is going to get filled. I'm just looking at a lot of news events right now, and there's a lot of things coming out saying that I'm really reading conflicting reports right now. Some reports are saying that there's a ton of inventory that was used up on this big production, crude oil production reduction that they had gone through earlier in the year to bring prices up, and there's still a shortfall, and there's lots of room for price to continue to move up. And then there's some reports that I'm reading saying that it doesn't matter, all of the reductions. They're just going to continue to pump and oversupply the market again, and it could draw down price. So I'll be honest with you, I think this level down here underneath these equal lows will get run. I really do, but it did hit a very big area of support down here. And it did see a reaction, right? We did see a nice big run up, and then one more run up from there into an area of resistance up in here. But I just don't know yet on crude. So I'm going to leave crude until we see inventory numbers. Last week didn't do anything. You can see this. We had a big sell-off on Monday. So far, it hasn't done anything. I am looking for 69.20 to get hit, and basically just a gap fill. And then from there, if we push higher, then I'd be looking for this area back up in here to get capitalized. And if we fail to get above 96.20 to 96.30, then I'll be looking for these lows down here to get run out, and 66.30 coming into play. So that's kind of what my prediction is on crude. I'm just going to have to wait and see once price gets back up there. It will go up there. You know, rest assured, it will fill that gap. It may not do it Monday or Tuesday, but it will fill that gap eventually. So we'll be watching for that. But they're really loading price in here. So just be careful. I don't know if you're long or you're currently short or whatever your position is on crude oil, but just be careful because they are really consolidating price in here, and basically it's going to work like a spring, and we're going to see this thing bounce big time higher or lower. And I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of reasons for it to go up, and there's a lot of reasons for it to go down right now. I feel like there is some levels underneath that they may want to satisfy. So if they do run it down, it could be just a short dip down to grab some of this liquidity under here and run down to the 66.30 level. And then from there, we could see a big level of support, and we could see something like that happen. Because you do see what price is doing. We're seeing a big run up and then a retrace, and a big run up and a retrace. Run up, retrace, run up, retrace, run up, big retrace, big run up, nice big retracement, and on and on and on. So, you know, again, I mean, there's reports out there saying we're going to be hitting $80 oil, and there's other reports saying that price is just going to bounce around the 60s for a while. So I'm still reading some fundamentals on it. I'm still doing a little bit more research. Price will tell us what it wants to do, but I do know this gap will get filled eventually. There's lots of areas above price. There's lots of areas below price. So right now, it's just kind of up in the air as to where this thing's going to go. But if I just do run a simple fib, you can see here this 79% retracement level. I believe it's hitting a fairly big area of confluence right now. I think they're going to at the very, very least, run down and take those out. Whether or not they do this first, hit that gap and then drop it to get those stops, I don't know if, or the opposite, if they're going to run down, take those stops, and then come up and fill the gap. But I'll be watching this very closely. I will be putting out a signal. If we hit this gap and we start to show weakness, I'm going to be selling it, and that's going to be my target. And vice versa, if we run this low here and we start to wick into this 66.30 level, I am going to be putting out a buy order, and that will be the target up at 69.20. So we're just going to have to wait and see what happens, but we'll get on it one way or another, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to wrap this up. I hope you guys all have a great week of trading. Again, I'll be live for London Open Tuesday morning. Dave should be back this week, and he'll be doing a live session Wednesday, New York Open, and then I'll be back again on Thursday, and then Dave's back again on Friday. So we got a great week happening here. I hope you guys had a great weekend, and looking forward to a busy week on the markets. And we'll catch up to you tomorrow. I hope you guys have enjoy the rest of your weekend. Okay? Take care. Talk to you tomorrow.